Happy summer, you guys! I am excited to share about all of the books that are coming out this summer that I'm excited about, and then I'm going to recommend you summer books that are in Christian fiction, historical, clean romance, and young adult, so stick around. So let's start with June, you guys. There are a couple really interesting looking books coming out in June that I think I'll be able to read because my library is getting them all in, so I'm excited about that. June 2nd, so this has already come and gone, is called The Rainy Day Bookshop by RaeAnne Thayne. I have kind of rediscovered a love for RaeAnne Thayne. I read a book by her earlier that I've already been recommending. It's Summer at the Cape. 5 stars, loved that book, and I forgot that she writes usually clean closed-door romances. I just sometimes don't connect with the premise of her books, so I don't pick them up, but I probably should try more of her books because she writes really good family stories, and this book sounds like it's going to be a really great family story. You follow a girl named Rosie, and she is caring for her mother, and she also has recently reconnected with her estranged daughter, who also has a daughter. So it's like generations of women, and they have this bookshop. I don't know if it's called the Rainy Day Bookshop, but it's a bookshop. So you're watching them like restore relationships and be together, and then there is also this writer man who comes along. So Rosie is like, what's he doing? And then you do also get a perspective with her daughter. So I'm really excited about this book. I already am requesting it from the library, so I'm hoping to get it pretty soon here. And yeah, I'm excited to dive into it. June 8th is Brighter Than Before by Courtney Walsh. This book, pretty much after Everything's Coming Up Rosie by Courtney Walsh, I just need to read all of her like standalone, traditionally published books because I'm just so impressed with how she's writing characters kind of going through new growth in themselves and doing something new that has kind of helped them discover something new about themselves. How many times did I say new? But this book follows this woman who has a daughter that lives in London, and her husband is not who she thought he was. So that's tough. I don't know if there's a divorce in there, but probably, maybe, I don't know. But she ends up moving to Chicago to start kind of a new life. So we're following that. So it's definitely going to be very emotional and intense at times, but I think Courtney Walsh is going to do a great job with it. So she writes just kind of no faith content, clean romance fiction. June 16th is Part of Your World by Karen Whittemire. So this author is kind of making a resurgence. I've seen a couple other booktubers talk about her backlist, and I've read a few of her backlist myself, but she does have this fairy tale retelling kind of companion series, I guess, coming out. And I did get the first one, which I think is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I got that on, I think it was free on Amazon at one point, so I downloaded it. So I do have the Kindle version, but I just haven't read it yet. But as we've kind of learned, I actually quite enjoy mermaid stories. So Part of Your World is most likely a Little Mermaid retelling, and so I definitely want to read that and give it a try. So yeah, that comes out June 16th, so it is already out as well by the time you see this. So actually, maybe not, might not be out. I don't know when this video is going up, but yeah, so I think this is like a Kindle Unlimited, like ebook only kind of book series, so check it out on Kindle Unlimited or Kindle if you want. Okay, last in June, this book comes out June 23rd, and the publisher Haven did send it to me, so thank you to them. It's called A Love Once Lost by Jenny Goutet? I don't know, but this was sent to me, so I'm excited to read it. It says Amy Bridwell reluctantly accompanies her family on a grand tour of the continent, the very trip her former sweetheart proposed they take as newlyweds. Receiving no suitable marriage offer in the 6 years since, and with her heart still guarded by regret, Amy has no choice but to go along with her widower father and younger sister to ensure their travels go smoothly. James Fletcher is building his practice as a physician in the fashionable resorts town of Spa. Though he came with a wounded heart, seeking distance from Amy's rejection, he's managed to build a respectable life and is now engaged to a woman who will ensure his professional future. If only he could be sure that his betrothed heart is truly his. Dude, that sounds good. So second chance romance, but like, wow. Okay, yeah, this comes out June 23rd. Thank you to the publisher for sending this to me. So this is kind of like historical Regency something. So I hope that it's good, but the synopsis does interest me for sure. So we'll see how it is. Okay, there are no July releases that I'm interested in or that even popped up at all within what I actually like to read. So moving on to August, you guys. August 11th is the next date. It's called The Heiress and the Woodsman by Christine Hill Sunts. I've never read from this author, but I know that she writes in a Canadian setting. So that's really exciting because there's not a lot of books set in Canada that I actually want to read. So this book is set in Canada as well, and the title kind of gives away what the plot is about. So The Heiress and the Woodsman. So I'm pretty sure this follows a girl who is an heiress to something, and I think she's trying to find her brother or something, or she's trying to travel somewhere. Something like that, very vague. I didn't really look this up because I want it to be vague. Then there's a woodsman that like helps her, and they're like traveling together. I like that setup. Okay, so definitely interested in this one, and I do want to read her previous book called The Lawyer and the Laundress. Yes. And so again, lawyer, laundress, heiress, woodsman, I'm interested. Okay, and 2 books coming out on August 18th. First is 3 Steps Behind by Dani Petrie. This is the 3rd book in her new trilogy. Where did it go? Up here. Can you see that? So it's called Jeopardy Falls. So both these books were 4 stars for me. I quite liked them. They're not like super standout, but they're solid Christian romantic suspense and nothing like, I don't know, cheesy. They're actually good. I just would say that the mysteries aren't that interesting to me, but the characters, the dialogue, the writing, all of that is really good. So One Wrong Move is the first book. Really, really liked this one. Like I would almost say this is a 4.5. And then 2 Seconds Too Late is the second one. And this was just a solid 4. So definitely want to finish out the trilogy and read the 3rd book, because in the first book, she of course sets up this group with different dynamics and relationships. So I want to see how that group finds all of their love, you know? So yeah, I am excited about that one. And then the other one is called Things We Cannot Keep by Amanda Cox. This one just sounds like it's going to be impactful if it's written well, so we'll see. But you follow this girl named Tess. She restores heirlooms, so she works in like this like antique shop, I guess. And she receives a package one day and it raises questions. And there's a dude who helps her. So I hope that it can be written in a really like deep, meaningful way. We'll see, but the cover is gorgeous, and I liked a previous book by Amanda Cox, and I do want to read more of her books, so I'm going to give this one a go. This is also Christian fiction, so looking forward to that. So those are all of the summer releases that are coming out that I'm interested in, that I wanted to share with you. So I'll write them all down below. Now on to the recommendations, you guys. I tried to pick 2 to 3 books under each of these categories. So Christian romance, historical romance / fiction / Christian, just clean romance, and then young adult. So I'm gonna do that for you, and yeah, let's do it. So Christian romance. I included like basically anything suspense or whatever, because I would just say Lynn Blackburn, like all of her books here. I just really connect with her writing. I think that she writes characters and group dynamics so beautifully and uniquely. Like her books feel unique because of that, and it's less about the mystery and more about the relationships, which I like. So I would recommend getting into her books. You can definitely binge them, and none of them are really set around a holiday, so they could be read at any time. And yeah, I'll just say like anything Lynn Blackburn, which I know that I recommend her a lot, but of the Christian romantic suspense, she is my favorite. Except for a couple that are like standouts, like Terry Blackstock If I Run, which I think is up there. Really good. So bonus rec right there. Okay, and then a love-inspired book that truly impressed me so much, and if you can get your hands on this, I do highly recommend it. It's called Her Summer Refuge by Gabrielle Meyer. So yes, this is the same Gabrielle Meyer that writes the Timeless series. She does write for love-inspired Harlequin as well. And this book, I don't know when it came out, but I did read it last summer, I think, or maybe even the summer before. And I was so impressed. This follows, it's a second chance romance, but the girl like breaks it off and like goes to France and starts living a life and then becomes pregnant, and the guy is like, see ya, I don't want ya, and she's like, great. So she's coming home, so you're following her returning home, kind of the prodigal daughter type thing. And the guy that she broke it off with, he is still living in her dad's or her grandpa's, I think it's her dad's like cabin resort thing. She shows up there and is like, oh, I was here to stay here. And he's like, well, you definitely can, because like it's in the family, but like this is awkward because why did you leave? And oh, you're pregnant. Okay. So the dynamics there was so much tension, and I feel like there was just the right amount. Like, yes, this is a shorter book, but the day-to-day that the author put in and the faith content was so good. What I'm really finding is love-inspired books have such solid faith content that feels realistic, and it shows Christians actually living out their faith. It was so good. And I was so invested. I thought the relationship was mature, like the way that it developed and they had to reconcile, and the forgiveness, and then moving on and making new plans with each other. It was just so well done. This is like a 5-star book for me. I was very impressed. So highly recommend that one. And yes, it has summer in the title, so it is summery. And then a great summer book that is also set in summer is Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. If you have not read this, this is one of the best Christian romance contemporary stories ever. So truly, if you've not read it, if you're not really into romance, if you're not really into Christian fiction, or you think it's cheesy, like, this is not cheesy. It's very good because you follow a girl who's not a Christian at the beginning, but she gets a job at a church, and you follow her story and the people that she meets and everything that happens and the healing that she has to go through. And the characters around her are so well fleshed out. Like, it really is almost like you were plopped into a real life story happening, and you got to see the side characters really be a part of this girl's healing and growth. And it was so beautifully done. Highly recommend this. So good. Okay, on to historical fiction / romance. I don't really have like true historical fiction where it follows an event. It's just set in a historical time. So first up is To Con a Gentleman by Sarah Adams. This book is definitely a hidden gem in her backlist, and it is, I don't know if it's traditionally published at this point, because I know she got picked up by a publisher and they did republish some of her books, but I don't think this one was included in that, which is good because that means the content stayed clean. So if you can get this on Kindle Unlimited or Amazon, like, highly recommend, because it is funny. If you want a humorous story, you're gonna laugh at this book, and I thought it was really well written, and I gave it 5 stars. So you follow this girl who is a con woman, and she's trying to get some money, and her next plan is to pretend to be pregnant and to con a man into like giving her money to keep her quiet and like to go away and disappear. So she just wants his money. So she goes to this guy that she thinks she can do that to, but he knows, like, he's not been with anyone, and he knows it's not his kid. But he sees an opportunity to con her back because he needs something from her. And so they're in a mutual con, and it's very, very funny because of that. So you basically spend most of the book at his manor with his family. Either way, you guys, this is definitely a fun one to get into. It'll be such a quick, easy read, and I do highly recommend it. And then if you want less romance, I would recommend The Bridge to Belle Island by Julie Klassen. I think this is not as popular among her books, but I read it at just the right time. It was mainly a mystery. So if you're a mystery reader, you might like this book because the romance was definitely in the backseat for me. I was like, I wanted the crumbs of the romance, and they were crumbs until the end. But it was mostly about this mystery of this girl. There's kind of this like myth around her family that they live on this island, and if you go to the island, you're gonna die. So she's like afraid to go to the island because she feels like it's gonna curse her. So you definitely like suss that out, and all that gets resolved. Her uncle passes away, and she is one of the suspects. So the investigator guy is like questioning her and doing that kind of thing. And so you're trying to solve the mystery of who killed her uncle. And it was just fun. Like, there was a lot of characters, but they were all easy to keep straight for me. I liked the setting. This island, Belle Island, was beautiful. And I liked the resolution. Like, it was good. So if you want like a little historical mystery, check this out. And then I did recently recommend this, but it's my top recommendation right now for historical, and it's Hidden Places by Lynn Austen. I love this book. It's a family story. I feel like this would be nice to get immersed in over the summer. It has a little bit more winter vibes, I guess, but it's definitely set in summer though, but over multiple seasons. Like you see this woman trying to run this farm because both her husband and his father passed away, and so she now has this farm to take care of and her kids and all the things that she encounters. It was just really well written and such a good story. So this is a good one to pick up if you ever want to. Next, for just clean romance, Rebel Summer by Cindy Steele. I definitely want to reread this summer because I loved this book. This is my top second favorite by her after the one with the kiss cam, which I also would recommend. Anything by Cindy Steele, her romances feel so much deeper than just a surface level rom-com. They are rom-coms, they're very humorous and funny and definitely like cheesy in some ways, but she puts the characters through like actual real tough things that they have to work through together, and I just love that about it. I think that she writes relationship dynamics and romance in just a very real way. You really earn the romance, like it's not insta-love, and it's just so good. So Rebel Summer is really good. It's set on this island off the coast of Florida, I think, and this girl gets in trouble for like a misdemeanor, and so she has to do community service, and the guy she's assigned to do the community service with is a guy from her past, and he likes to bug her, and they have a romance, and it's so cute and funny. And then I do have to recommend Just Friends by Haley Pham. This was so unexpected, so good. I just really commend Haley Pham for writing this, and it's a perfect summer book. Look at that cover first of all, and yeah, it is set during summer, and you get to see Blair go back to her hometown because her aunt passes away, and she's just kind of grieving and going through that process. And then she also has a second chance romance with a guy, so you do get flashbacks from their time together. Book centers around grief, so it is heavy at times, but it's also so lighthearted in the way that the writing kind of just makes the setting and the characters, like, it feels really grounded but also peaceful and calm and like an easy read. So highly recommend. I do have a reading vlog for this book, so I'll link it down below. Then for young adult, you guys, I just finished this book and I have to recommend it because it was brilliant. It was so good. Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. Number one, this author is the daughter of Richard Paul Evans. So I didn't know that. She like acknowledged him in her acknowledgements. So Jenna Evans Welch is the daughter of Richard Paul Evans. Okay, so she's obviously married, but I feel like that's why this book had so much depth to it, because she knows that like her dad writes really deep stories, and so she's seen that like modeled to her. This book was really well written in the sense that what she chose to emphasize, it was really about this girl going on a journey to learn about her mom. Her mom passes away from cancer, so trigger warning there. She has to really come to terms with this part of her mom's life that she had no idea existed. She's never met her mom. She doesn't know anything. She's never met her dad, and she doesn't know anything about him. But her mom gives her journals that the mom wrote, and they're about this girl's dad. And she wants her to go stay with the dad in Italy. So she moves to Italy for the summer. She is learning about her mom, her dad, and the people that she meets there in Italy. Loved the setting. I'm losing my voice. And it was just a fun read, definitely very rooted in the setting of Italy. Like, it was such a good summer vibe. There's no language. I think they do say God, not a ton though, like maybe once or twice. And I think they say ASS once or twice as well. Otherwise, like, it's zero vulgar. Like, there's no kind of just like dirty talk among teenagers. Like, they actually felt like respectable kids, and I really enjoyed reading that. And then there's like 2 kiss scenes, but they are so mild and really respectful again that I'm like, this is what young adult should be. It was so good, and it had good messages in it. I was very impressed. Like, I basically would say this is language free, definitely spice free, and like no side characters that are kind of questionable. Like, it was all good. So I definitely am going to continue reading this author's books, and I know that there's 2 other books in this like companion trilogy, so I'm for sure going to read those. But perfect summer book, and especially if you like young adult or you are a teen and you want a book to read this summer, pick this up. It was so good. And then this is a throwback, but I do want to give my recommendation for it. It's The Selection by Kiara Cass. These are so bingeable. If you've never heard of it, definitely recommend. Like, there's no language in this series, and there's some kissing, and there's some like slight, mild, like kind of war and torture scenes because it is set in a kingdom. But this world has caste systems similar to the Hunger Games where there's factions, but these are called castes. Yeah, the lower the number, the poorer the caste. And so this girl is in a caste 5. But every time the prince needs to marry someone, they do similar something to The Bachelor, but it's called the selection, where all these girls apply and then they're selected to go to the castle and try to win the prince's heart. And this girl gets selected and she goes to the castle, but there's a lot of things that happen. So highly recommend this. I do think either in the first or the second book there is the B word, so it's not 100% language free, but for the most part I do think that this is fine for teenagers to read. I would definitely recommend this series, and there's 3 main books and then 2 spin-off books, and I read those 2. They're not as good, but the 3 main ones are really good. So you guys, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful for you to see new books coming out and then some books that I recommend for this summer. And as I read more, I'll of course do more recommendation videos, but I just wanted to have a video that I could point you all to if you're looking for another summer read. And let me know if there's any books with summer in the title. How about that? That'll be the one thing. Tell me a book with summer in the title that you recommend to me and to all of us, okay? And maybe I've read it already or maybe I haven't, but if you could put summer in the title books in the comments, that'd be awesome. And yeah, thank you again for watching, you guys. I'll see you in my next one, and I look forward to chatting with you more. Bye, guys.